If you were to go out on a date with an ancient philosopher, who would it be? Where would you go?
There's no question it'd be with David Hume, because of all the philosophers, he comes across as being the most fun. He was into backgammon, but maybe I could have twisted his arm and made him interested in something a little bit more modern.
Right.
But he liked a good drink with his friends. He's pretty smart.
Yeah.
He'd be a good conversationalist, I think. But mainly, you know, he seemed like he'd be a fun guy. Where would we go? Somewhere with good food.
And good wine.
And good wine.
And good backgammon.
And good backgammon. I fell into philosophy completely initially by accident. It was back in the days when you enrolled to go to uni by ticking a box on a form.
Right.
And I meant to tick psychology, and philosophy was in the box above. So by accident I ticked philosophy, and my enrolment turned up, and I thought, what's this thing called philosophy? I'll just go along to the first lecture and see what it's like. I had no idea what to expect, and I turned up to the lecture and I was completely gripped from the very first lecture, which was on free will. And the rest of the course was about all these problems that I'd been thinking about from, you know, I think actually lots of us think about from when we're very young. You know, what's the nature of the universe? What's justice? Do we have free will? Things like that.
You recently wrote, some people are fortunate enough to pursue a passion where paid work becomes more like a calling. How did you know philosophy was calling you? When
I started doing it in my spare time, I think that's the test. You know, you think to yourself, is this something that I would like to do, you know, even if I weren't paid? If you wake up feeling on a work day not dissimilar from the way you feel on the weekend, I think that's when you know what you've got is a calling. I don't think it's necessarily a flourishing life to have any one thing as a calling, if you like. Even if work is for you a calling, I'm not sure that you should spend all your time doing that.
Have you ever received any really negative reactions to your ideas?
The discussion around a 4-hour workday, I have to say, get some emails from economist friends of mine asking whether I'd gone completely balmy.
It's an idea which you've obviously developed a bit more thoughtfully than just being some sort of utopian fantasy. Do you think Australia is the country to lead the trend?
I think in Australia we have an image of ourselves as being this kind of laid back, you know, land of the long weekend and the barbecue and so on.
And are we?
No, in fact, the statistics have us second only to South Korea in terms of hours that most of us work. Many of our lives would be better if a greater proportion of them were less busy, if we had more time to ourselves, more time to spend with friends and family and to devote to activities that really absorb us.
Do you think the world is listening to what philosophers are saying now?
When some philosophers talk about well-being, it's not just philosophers really now who are talking about it. It's also economists, sociologists. The sort of move to try and shift our focus more onto quality of life and flourishing and away from kind of GDP, that's something that lots of people are moving towards from different directions. And I think, you know, it's a sort of slow process. If enough people kind of speak out about it, yeah, then, I mean, that's how social change happens.